Appalling case of sheer criminal apathy has come to fore from Madurai in Tamil Nadu, where refusing to pay a bribe, a father had to face the dire consequences. Ganpathy's son lost his life after a hospital staff refused to carry his son on a stretcher. Now, as Ganpathy declined the workers' demand for a bribe, after receiving first aid, Ganpathy's son had to wait for 20 minutes to get his admission receipt for the emergency ward. Now, the hospital worker demanded 300 rupees to push the stretcher, but Ganpathy refused to pay the amount. Furious hospital staffer left the stretcher and walked away with his son's admission slip. Now, within minutes, his son started to bleed from his mouth. He called the doctor in the ward to see what's wrong with his son, but the doctor was unresponsive as well. Now, the hospital staff's apathy eventually proved too costly, leading to the death of Ganpathy's son. Now, even to get his dead son's body from the morgue, Ganpathy had to shell out 100 rupees for a gate pass. Now, another worker demanded 200 rupees to bring the body on a stretcher, and finally 200 rupees to the morgue ambulance was paid to the driver to transport the body to the crematorium.
This case relates to a case of medical negligence, criminal medical negligence in Madurai Government Rajaji Hospital, a premier government hospital of Tamil Nadu. This is atrocious. This is criminal negligence. The government will have to act against the dean, against the doctors responsible, and against those who are demanding bribe in this case, as a result of which the boy died.
And with more details, joining me on the phone line is India Today's Pramod Madhav. Pramod, this is shameful, absolutely shameful. It is just not negligence, it is criminal negligence on part of the doctors, on part of the hospital staff, that a man had lost his son because he was unable to pay 300 rupees, just mere 300 rupees. And why even pay a bribe to get his son get treatment from the hospital? What action is being taken against the hospital and the staffers?
You're absolutely right when you say it's a shameful act, Amita. In fact, this particular hospital is the second biggest hospital in Tamil Nadu, next to the General Hospital, which is in Chennai. It actually handles nearly 26.7 lakh patients per year. And this particular hospital, the shocking thing is that the worker who demanded the money from Mr. Ganpathy to move his son on a stretcher, the hospital has said that that particular person does not work for the hospital. It seems like when we spoke to the Health Secretary of Tamil Nadu yesterday, Mr. Radhakrishnan told us that he was a former employee and he's being acting as a broker. The Health Secretary himself accepts that there are people who act as brokers inside a hospital to move patients to emergency wards, and that too for some amount of money. And the other shocking part is that the doctor who was in the ward, knowing that Rajendra Prasad was in such a serious condition, he has ill-treated Mr. Ganpathy and his wife. For instance, Rajendra Prasad had a seizure and he has bit his own tongue and he was bleeding. When Mr. Ganpathy went and told the doctor, he has told him that I cannot treat the patient without an admission slip. And he wanted Ganpathy to wipe off the blood of his own son himself. I mean, his wife. He asked his wife to do that. This is such an atrocious thing. And what the dean has said is that since the employee does not work with the hospital, they have assigned a commission. But when we spoke to Ganpathy, we found out that other staff members of the hospital knew this person. They call him as Pal Pondi, and they knew the person very much. And Ganpathy is asking, if he's not a worker of a hospital, how was he able to get a stand on a stretcher, and how was everybody else knew him very well there? That is a shocking incident, and that is a prevalent thing as of what happened in Madurai, Amita.
All right, Pramod will be following this story very closely from that Madurai hospital. Many thanks for joining us with those details.